Hello, I'm Ellen Goldberg, and I welcome you to a Tarot Moment from the School of Oracles. In this segment, we're going to have a brief overview of the 4 eights of each of the suits of the Minor Arcana. The eights, in relation to the Tree of Life, belong to the Sphere of Hud, ruled by Mercury, and so it is a mental suit, and therefore each of the eights has some mental attribute about it. The first we'll look at is the Eight of Wands, whose name is the Lord of Swiftness. It's the only card in the minors of this deck that doesn't have, say, a picture of a scene that describes it, but simply has 8 wands. But there's a reason for that. It is a scene in and of itself. This Lord of Swiftness, whose astrological attribution is the planet Mercury in the sign of Sagittarius, the mind is going fast. And the 8 wands here are like arrows shooting through the air, and it has to do so much with force approaching its goal. Things are happening swift and fast. Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, is a big freewheeling sign, and Mercury, our fastest planet, and Sagittarius, the archer who shot these arrows, is never going to hold Mercury back. And so everything that happens with this card happens fast. Some of the meanings on the higher polarity is force approaching its goal, quick decisions, impulsive decisions, sometimes even long journeys, because both Mercury and Sagittarius love to travel. Know that you're going to be learning things, maybe even by the School of Hard Knocks, because you're going to be going through things so fast you might want to take a little time and just make your mind up a little more carefully. On the lower polarity, well, things have gone too swiftly. Maybe you've gone so fast you've even overshot the goal, missed the goal. This card on the lower polarity says, slow down. You may be in an absolute frenzy, and it will take you nowhere but panic and disorganization. The Eight of Cups is called the Lord of Abandoned Success, and its astrological attribution is Saturn, planet of karma, in the sign of Pisces, the most mystical. So this is a very spiritual and mystical karma. In fact, many saints had the placement of Saturn in Pisces. It's a test of severance. Can you let go? Here we see somebody who is leaving 8 cups that are standing. They have not fallen over, as we see in many of the other cups. They're full, and yet he's wearing a red cloak and red shoes, showing the passion for walking the mystic path. He's leaving something behind which other people may not understand why, because it's full. But he knows. He knows he's doing it for himself and for the higher self. There's an eclipse of the moon going on here, or perhaps an eclipse of the sun. But those eclipses represent times to go interior. So this is an interior decision going on. And it's also mental, because they've made the decision to let go. Sometimes with this card, you're forced to let go. On the lower polarity, one of the meanings I know is the flood comes, head for the hills. Other times, it's desertion, paralysis, just leaving even before the situation warrants it. I always get a kick out of what Aleister Crowley said about this in the more negative manner, because he said, this card is like the morning after the night before, only the night before never happened. You just have that feeling. The Eight of Swords is called the Lord of Shortened Force. Remember, the eights are mental, and here we are in a mental suit, so there's definitely a very big lesson in this card. Its astrological attribution is Jupiter in Gemini, where it is in its detriment, because Jupiter is so big and expansive, and Gemini is the mental sign. And here the thoughts are all over the place. No wonder they call it shortened force. It's not just because it's held in. This is what the mind looks like when it's trying to do too many things, and it has really shortened its own power by scattering itself all over the place. Sometimes there's a sense of isolation, and yet her blindfold is loose. Her binding is loose. She could wriggle out of that in a moment if she chose to. There's advice with this card. Stop thinking, stop talking, meditate. Pull in your activities, center yourself, and then it will calm down and become clear. And this card is on its higher polarity. Just wiggle out of your bounds. Understand that help is at hand. Know that the isolation is not so. And you can find your way to stillness again. On the lower polarity, the mind is out of control. Then you really are in trouble. You're all over the place. Your energy is dispersed, and, well, your inner self will feel just like that. In the Eight of Pentacles, the Lord of Prudence, the Sun is in the sign of Virgo. And here we see the mind being used to its best opportunity. We see a craftsman repeating through repetition the making of pentacles, which in ancient times was a metaphor. Making visible coins represented doing good works. Here he's learning his craft through repetition and hard work, and it's going to pay off, because we see in the background, very lightly drawn but there for a purpose, the house that is in the 10 of Pentacles. And so this person is going to experience prosperity. The road, notice, it's a golden road, just like the road that we see in so many of the Major Arcana cards. He's going to be successful. He's following his heart's dictates. On the higher polarity, this card says, learn your craft by dint of hard work. Apply yourself intelligently to labor. There is only one master, and that master is within. The Sun in Virgo. Prudence means wisdom. On the lower polarity, the work goes poorly. They are not applying. They're trying to take the easy way out, and therefore things will fail. On behalf of the School of Oracles, bye for now.